We had Fabringen last night for Yud Aleph Nissen. I want to thank all those who participated. We had on Zoom, nice crowd. And then we had on Facebook, we had Instagram and Clubhouse. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I was inspired. And yeah. So we move forward the day later. Okay. We continue in chapter 41, Avodah, the basis. This is like the core. This is the root. This is the basis of what it means, divine service. Now, what we spoke about yesterday is this concept of divine presence, that God is real and present, that he's actually looking at me specifically, not to be punishing, and not to, make with his finger, oi, 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 but to empower us that anything and everything that we engage in actually matters to him. And therefore, he is seeing if we are truly serving him with all that we've got. Are we just, are we giving 50%? Are we giving 90%? Are we giving 100%? Now, it's a strong suggestion. Don't make yourself crazy. Am I a 90%er? Am I an 85%er? 50? Whatever it is, the more we have this concept a part of us, the more we will grow, we will improve. It's not about 100%. There's no such thing as 100%. So, if God is present, standing over us and seeing what we're doing right now, and knows what's going on in every single one of our hearts, so that gives us the impetus to serve him so much better. And that's the point. It's just that we will serve better before we do a mitzvah, like now, learning Torah. So Alter Rebbe continues and says we should also reflect, furthermore, on the Ein Sof, which encompasses all the worlds. God encompasses all the worlds, pervades all the worlds. Encompassing means beyond, transcending, pervades from within, immanent. Right, we mentioned that before. And that is identical with the supernal will of God. And that supernal will of God, his will, is clothed in the letters and the wisdom of Torah. That which we're learning right now. The very letters of the Torah that a person utters, like uttering the words of Tanya, and it's wisdom that we comprehend. So there's the uttering of the words, and then there's the comprehending of the words of Torah. God's will and wisdom is found there. Therefore, before we begin to learn Torah, we should ponder. Well, it can be a brief moment, but to ponder how the Ein Sof light, which is the divine will, is vested in the very letters, the very wisdom of the Torah that we're now studying. That's our study of Torah. Now, when we're doing a mitzvah like Talis and Tefillin, right? So you should contemplate how the divine will, again, it's the divine will, is clothed in the very material of the tzitzis and the tefillin. And that it's God's will that a Jew that is obligated to wear them wears them. So it's in the very thing that, the talis, the tefillin, is the divine will, is in the very thing itself that we wear. So now when you learn Torah, or you're wearing tefillin or tzitzis, you're drawing further. We should be aware that we're drawing upon ourselves, upon that part of God that is now in my body, and that is housed in my body, drawing upon it the light of the Ein Sof, the limitless light of God. And hence, what's happening to me is I am literally being absorbed and nullified in that blessed light. In that blessed light. So let's just think that for a moment, that we're learning right now, and the light of God, the Ein Sof, which is expressed in His will, which the Torah is His will and wisdom, and likewise any mitzvah that we do, we're being absorbed in that light in doing the mitzvah. That's pretty powerful. A thought that we have, it can be a very brief thought. It can be a lengthy one, of course, but it can be a brief thought that this is what we're engaged in right now. Now, the Alter Rebbe goes more specific about tefillin. And great, but more intent, more specific. That was a very, a general intent for a mitzvah, that you're being absorbed in the light of God. You're nullified in it. It's like, wow. Specifically, tefillin, you should have intent that the attributes that a person has of a wisdom and understanding of the soul is also should be nullified and absorbed in the divine attributes of God, His wisdom and understanding. And that we're absorbed by the divine wisdom and understanding by donning the tefillin. And therefore, our wisdom, our understanding should be used effectively to connect to God. But just parenthetically means, that everything that we are gaining knowledge of will be used effectively in order to attach ourselves to God, which we'll explain a little more about that soon. Similarly, should have intent. That was about Chachma and Bina, wisdom and understanding, but our Das, our knowledge, the third component of intelligence, of the soul, which that Das is the connective part of intelligence. It connects to the emotions. It's the bridge to the emotions. It's the conduit that brings that which we know and has an effect on the emotions, which the two primary ones are chesed, kindness, and gvura, severity, which is love, chesed, embracing, gvura, fear, right? That's in the heart. Now, the reason why it's a bridge to the heart is because there's emotions in intelligence and there's intelligence in emotions, right? Something we've spoken about in the past at great length. So Das, that bridge, the awareness that we have in our intelligence that brings it into our emotions to create a love and awe, a love and respect or reverence for God, right? So what it's doing now in this particular instance when we speak about tefillin, right, that we have an awareness that we're nullified and absorbed in the attribute of Das Elyon, which is the higher form of divine knowledge, which comprises of the emotions of Chesed and Gvura, which that refers to in the Tefillin, specifically to the passages of the Shema, first paragraph of the Shema, the second paragraph of the Shema. And this is the idea that it says in Jewish law, that the idea of Tefillin is that you should make your heart and mind subservient to God. And in this way, the divine soul as a whole, the intellect and the emotions, are affected by one's wearing of tefillin.